Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe, and this is the weekly update for February 18th. So we have one new unit, two new mementos, and then two new job pluses for the week, spread across two different events, as well as one significant rerunning event. First, I wanted to touch on these units that either got Enlightenment period or got their Gate 6 upgraded. There's some pretty noteworthy ones on here for the global exclusives, as well as some other just generally handy units to have, like Lucretia. As well as now Lucia can be a pretty awesome Thunder unit. Finally. She just had no Enlightenment for such a long time. So I'm glad that is going on. For the new unit, his name is Yuen. I spelled differently than I thought it would be, but he's a wind strike unit that uses a flail, has kind of an interesting attack pattern, and has a lot of conditional damage based on number of targets. Just from trying out the mercenary, I think his kit is pretty cool. But on to the quests themselves. Whoops, that's not events. There you go. I just want to point out the Soul Job Plus quest is rerunning right now, so if you have Soul and have not gotten that yet, I would definitely do that, because that Job Plus makes him one of the best characters in the entire game, let alone one of the best Dark units. But yeah, so we've got the Road to Enlightenment every day, so grab the statues while you can. And then there's also this once a day, just kill lots and lots of bugs quest. Pretty easy. You get a lot of good, just general materials from it. And then we've got first, Blair has her Job Plus, and since global Job Plus is always done through Ascension Trials, none of them appear to be rerunning. But you just do an EX and EX Plus, you get the tokens from the milestone mission here, and then just running the level a few times should get you enough. I got all the milestones in single player, haven't even gotten all of them for multiplayer, got everything I needed to master her Job Plus before I was even done getting the milestones, so it doesn't take that much. Now, for Lucia, she is going to be the type that is the coin shop. I spent all my time earlier today working on Blair, so I haven't gotten to Lucia yet. But if we were to take a look into the shop, we will find a coin shop that has the stuff that you're going to need to buy her stuff. And those are the wedding knife coins. That's such a weird name for an event. Like, blessing from the wedding knife. I mean, maybe it makes sense in context, or maybe it's just Alchemist code making as much sense as usual. But yeah, here we go. Tokens and all the equipped pieces. So just running the EX Plus, Hell, etc. Just buy them from here, and then you'll be set. That's going to be the next thing that I'm going to be working on. So yeah, that is about it for the content. I imagine a lot of the time is going to go into just working on the wedding event, getting Lucia, as well as some of the other cool things you can get in the shop. So with that, let's move on to the banners. Okay, so before I continue, forgot to mention there's a challenge board for Lucia, so anybody can get her for free, as well as enough shards to get her to 15 limit breaks, and thus unlock her Job Plus. And then she's just a regular farmable character anyway, so that makes it pretty easy and convenient. Okay, so actually onto the banners. So first of all, there is a once a day just get random items thing. Let's just go ahead and see what we get right now, because I'm not going to do a summoning part in this video, so there's no reason to section it off. Got ourselves a Saga Relief. Well, if I ever finally pull the Sprite Trio memento, then I know where that's going. Otherwise, I have no idea how I would use that. But it's kind of cool to just get a relief for free, so I imagine that's one of the better case scenarios. So, moving on to the banners proper, there is a paid summon that is just a guaranteed featured 5-star, which that's really dicey, and you can't reroll. So I wouldn't recommend this unless you're just a paid banner regular, because you don't want to do this and get like Torito or Uzuma. Heck, even Judith and Teresa and Sharon, who are pretty good units, they're still just normal 3 times a day farmable, so I don't think that's that good of a deal. as far as that goes. Plus, if you are someone who is more discretionary, you might want to wait till the weekend and see what's offered. But yeah, next we have a pretty bad banner style for the new unit Ewan and Lucia. So that's bad all around because it's split, and then it's split between the new unit who presumably you'd be doing this to get him and not Lucia, who you can literally get for free from a challenge board. So that's not very fun at all. And he is in the shop. I checked. I bought 10 shards of him and then realized I have very little wind shards, and there's a wind unit I'm specifically saving for, so I might transmute him, but even if I do, I wouldn't be using him anytime soon, even though his kit is awesome. But yeah, next we have a less bad but still pretty bad banner for Soul and Ainz. If you have neither of them and you need the Templar coins, maybe, but even then, you can get both Soul and Ainz in the shop. I don't know if they're in the shop right now. I forgot to check. I was only checking for Ewan. But generally speaking, finding a period where they are in the shop is going to make more sense than doing this kind of banner. But at least it's not split between a normal pool unit and a limited one. So if you're trying to transmute both of them. But I still wouldn't recommend it. Next up, we have a banner I would recommend if you have been saving your gems specifically for Narrow, because there's just no other way to reliably get her. Unless you're really lucky on one of those 5-step Templar summons where she's included on the banner. Otherwise, this is it. So I would only recommend doing it if you have enough to eventually transmute her via the shards that they give you, which is a lot. I did it myself when she first came out. It was super expensive. She's a really, really, really good unit. If you get her built up and get her memento max limit broken, she's just an absolute destroyer who can fit on just all kinds of different teams. But the cost is very high, so consider that before making that decision. Then we have 2 more bad banners that are the 3-step unlimited. Kind of a bad week, just in summary. Global units also show up in the shop, so it just makes more sense to transmute them. I definitely saw Blair in there when I was poking around. I assume the others might be. They're also fairly old. So yeah, there's just so many of them. It's like, how many bad banner styles can they overload in 1 week? Then we have another one that's bad for everyone except for beginners. Maybe do that first step, but otherwise nobody else needs to do this banner. Then we have some that might be worthwhile depending on what you're gunning for. If you want Lucia's new memento, which is going to be limited, and actually, let's take a look real quick, because I wasn't sure if... Okay, it doesn't look like Ewan's memento is limited, but that's worth noting. Although, if they're not going to update the selectors, that is less important, but you could still get it randomly. Whereas, if you want Lucia's, then you're going to want to get it through this banner. Which I've heard her job plus is really good, so... And I imagine she looks really cool, so... I got her character skin and I love it. And now I can actually use her, so I'm excited. And if I've heard of someone commented that they were saving for this one, so this is the way to do it. Then if you wanted one of these 3, and all 3 of the Veda ones here are limited. Normally they're not, but for Soul and Ainz and Narrow, they're kind of on a higher class, apparently. So if you need one of those, definitely not a bad way to go. And then there is finally another one. There's just so much stuff this week. You could get a global one. I don't think Siegfried's is that great. Roxanne's is alright. Asuka's is awesome. And Blair's is pretty good, especially if you want to use her as a damage unit, but I don't think she needs it. I think of all the ones that, if you could pick one, I'd pick Asuka's. So not a bad way to spend your gems/discount tickets if you're looking for it. Everything else below this is all old. But it's worth remembering that there is 1 more week for discount tickets. So if nothing on here is appealing to you, then you can always take the chance. And some of these memento banners are going to be here next week anyway. So there is, like for me, example, if next week just totally sucks and there's nothing that really stands out, then I'll probably throw my remaining discount tickets into this banner. Bare minimum, get one 5-star memento, and if I got lucky, maybe get like Asuka's or dupes of one of the other three. Knowing this game, it'd probably throw Blair's memento at me again. But yeah, that's about it for the banners. I'd say unless you have a very specific target in mind, like Soul Eins, Mementos, or Nero, and you saved up. Otherwise, I'd say for a lot of people, I could see this being a skip week. But yeah, that is it for the weekly update. Have fun getting those Job Plus togethers. I'm looking forward to doing reviews of both Blair and Lucia. It's kind of a good period for missile related things lately. Hope you have good luck on your summons, and I will see you all next time.